Oh. Welcome to the Honest Wargamer. It's Battletome Saturday. Our new tradition on the Honest Wargamer, where every time there's a Battletome pre-order / all the information goes out, we hang out in the Twitch chat. Let's go Battletome Saturday. I am 10 minutes late. I'm sorry. But I was very, very tired yesterday. So, back in action today. I'm excited. I'm going to open up my shirt. I'm so excited. Hello, chat. Imagine the smell day. Honk. Great point. MJ Pegasus, big love to you. Baron Quack. Hello. I'm sure I saw you ask what is a Battletome now. I'll talk about that in a minute. Ajulai, thank you so much for resubscribing. And also, big shout out to Stigby for donating £10 to the show. It's very much... And Pragmatic. Oh, thanks, Pragmatic. Oh, you little bud. You little fucking bud. Thanks, bud. I've heard good things about the Nurgle Tome. I've heard described as fully sick. Okay. All right. Okay. Maybe we should rein it in and we should do a bit less of that, whatever you're doing. Mr. The 5 gifted 10 minutes by 10 minutes shame. Oh, wait, did someone donate 5 gift subs? If it was you, call me Quinn, thank you. Was it you? Was it someone? I don't know. Got him. Right. Give me puns, chat. Give me puns. All right. Well, listen, we're going to do the Nurgle stuff. Obviously, I didn't get the book ahead of time. Obviously. We don't have a relationship with Games Workshop. It's excellent. It means we get to have fair and honest review. But it does mean that we have to work a little bit harder. But I don't mind that. Never been work shy as a person, so I'm confident about that. So it does mean that we're going to get all of the screenshots of the content creators who do stuff either into WhatsApp or into the Discord. This is where we form up as a team, chat, right? So there must be, I know Call Me Quinn's a mod of both. We might in our Discord start getting the screenshots that we need, and then we'll have everything we need to review the Battletome ourselves, or at least take a first look, right, of what's happening. So we'll try and get that done as soon as possible. So let me just find... I don't know where we should put it in the Discord. Somewhere useful. No, we got to find out. We got to wait and see. Okay, are they releasing the Nurgle candle to go with the new tome? Yeah, they do. Rocking up to an event with 30 YouTube screenshots is perfect. Oh, call me Quinn. Call me Quinn. Yeah, you're right. I mean, I got close enough. I released in the Nurgle candle. No, check it. This lab leaked some. No, we don't need to leak anything. It doesn't need to be about that because there's already. So we're going to look at the Goonhammer article for a quick overview, and then we'll deep dive the actual information. I know the GMG video is up, so I'm just going to wait for everyone to screenshot that stuff, send it to my chat, and then we'll have the whole thing, which is pretty exciting. So we're going to go through this right now. Lucas Mine, thanks for donating £10. That's so nice of you. So we're going to go through this, talk about it, see how we feel. So if you guys want to have a read of it, and then look at all the rules, basically. Baron Quack, what's the question from him? Open for new Epidemius minis. So no, there's no new minis with this. Oh no, there's the Sorcerer, right? There's the Sorcerer is the one new mini, and that's it. Wow, it's an early start. I plan to try and do some early starts next week, so it's a good tie. All right, let's go through this article together, shall we? What's changed? If you don't want to read the detailed breakdown of what's changed and just want bullet points to note the army is very different to what it's been. Skipping the entire edition will do that. Highly recommend reading through the whole thing. Here's a big picture of stuff. Okay. Right. They were really salty about the fact like Nurgle Battletome had like 3 updates during AOS 2. They got sub-factions, they got different abilities, they had like big FAQ changes, like they got some pretty good stuff. Basically. Morning Cabbage. Completely new cycle of corruption. Okay. So we don't know what that is yet. But I think that's in the detail below. Slower army. This is actually a worry of me. Thanks, Dan Brook, for donating £4.31, and I hope you get better. Look after yourself, Dan. Thanks, man. Thanks, bud. Thanks, buddy. Thanks, Dan, buddy. Complete new cycle of corruption. We'll ignore that. Slower army. Games Workshop scrubbed about every movement buff out of the army. Great and Clean One Bell doesn't give them extra move. Unnatural Vitality from the Wheel doesn't give them extra move. And even the Narmal's run and charge buffs. So that's the thing that I was probably most worried about. That should read 9669. It does. Dan, it really does. Congratulations. You've done it. It says 9669. You have smashed it. Yes. I'm so glad that makes you happy. Many units are also an inch slower than they used to be, which overall makes them an army that's going to struggle to play objectives. Summoning and Deep Strike becomes more essential than before. Well, I mean, this is genuinely a massive concern, right? Like, Nurgle was fast before, so it was able to threaten the backboard. And with no shooting, like, Iron Jaws do lots of output, but it's the ability to move twice, which is really what puts them into that punching field. If you had the Iron Jaws army, but you couldn't do Mighty Destroyers, is that what we're looking at? War Scrolls aren't updating the app yet, other than the Stormcast on Orc releases. Call me Quinn. I don't think they will till next week. Call me Quinn, basically. Morning, Cage Red. Hope you're well. This could be a genuine issue. This is kind of the thing I'm most interested to see how. So I know that the whole thing gets a 5-up ward. Tougher. The whole army has a 5-up ward, which is it's thematic not broken to play again. Then talking about Nurgle, I don't think Nurgle was broken before, like even close. Stats also agree with that. But the running thing was very good. So the whole army's got a 5-up ward, including the mortals, which is huge for your Puskor Blight Lords, your Blight Kings, all mortals with a 5-up ward is great. And if we go back and we watch Cabbage's, Colonel Cabbage's Amulet of Destiny video, we know how good that 5-up ward is. Because actually, when we start looking at things like Blight Kings, right, when they've got 4 wounds, they might have 5 wounds now. We'll work it out in a minute. The amount of damage we're going to have to do to them is significant because, so bullshit puns aside, are they doing slow and methodical Nurgle in AOS, sort of like with what they did in 40k? Yes, they are. 5-up ward and slow. We'll see whether or not that is effective, really. So it sounds already like you'll be building another DPS check army. Like, because you might not. If you don't have the ability to do an outflank, so I'm hoping Gutrot Spume and everything else still gives you the ability to do. This is so much fun because I get to do like all my hopes as we're finding the information out. So you can this is the reason I wanted to do this was because oftentimes when I turn up on a Monday show, having read through all this and asked all these questions myself already, and I'm like, I don't think this thing is good or this is rubbish. Yeah. So my immediate question is, how do I build an army that outflanks or alpha strikes? If I can't, then already the army can't do something. Okay. Can I build a castle gunline army? Well, with no shooting in the army, that's also off the table. Right. So I'm slowly being forced into one style of play. So then your army becomes what's the best and most efficient style of play at that level. So it already sounds like a DPS check army, and it feels like a DPS check army, like, because it's got no other options, right? So far. Yes, Bobbin. Woo-hoo! I like the idea of slow but tough force moving forward, but 50 Sentinels will have them before they get to midboard. Well, Stigby, 50 Sentinels won't, and also they should go up in points in the FAQ. It's 20 points they go up, I'm pretty certain, which isn't enough, but I think things that are more the issue are things that can do some pretty prodigious output in the midboard, but we'll see, right? Because if you can only get to the midboard by turn 1, that means you can only threaten the back line by turn 2. Anyway. We don't know yet. 5-up ward, massive. And on things that might have a 4-up save, like Blight Kings, they're going to be all over the place, right? More expensive. In many cases, stuff is way more expensive. There are a few that buck the trend, but if you're paying a premium for the tanky units, it makes an army that is much more elite. Okay. A slow attrition force. A slow, tanky attrition force. Okay. And fewer mortal wound output. Okay. A slow, tanky attrition force with no output. Oh no, that doesn't sound good. Like, this is an article that sells things. I've not gone through this yet, but I'll outline my concerns from the first 5 minutes of the Visage Mallet video. The army is an MP debuff the enemy DPS check army. They will sit on objectives and not let the opponent play with their toys. That's my concern. Let's see what we get. Is that what you said, Cabbage? Is that your opinion? Also, Cabbage, if you're watching a video, I've got. Can I send you a Google Doc and we can put some notes in there together? No, I'm saying, fancy doing that along with me. Where's my? That's your concern. Okay, yeah, that's my concern too. But we shall see. Charlie? Oh no. Anyway, all right, let's carry on. Let's carry on, shall we? Plenty of time to fill this in today. I turned it off once I found it online. Okay. So we already know about diseased. We know about doing mortal wounds. This all new ability, so we know about that already. Legion of Chaos. 2 in 4 units can be slaves to darkness if they have the mark of chaos keyword, and this must be Nurgle, of course. 1 in 4 units can be Clan Pestilence, so you still get a cheap Rat Priest. Oh, okay. 1 in 4 units can be Beast of Chaos, so long as they don't already have Tzeentch. Any other units gains Nurgle. Okay. So it's become running theme in the mono good books in the future. So 2 in 4 units can be slaves to darkness if they have the mark of chaos keyword. 1 in 4 can be Clan Pestilence. All right, so great that you can still. That's super thematic. Really happy about that, I think. What do you guys think? I'm pretty excited about that personally. Gain Nurgle, not Maggotkin of Nurgle. Now require I've changed so much. The abilities now require Maggotkin of Nurgle keyword, which means that coalitions will not benefit from most of the battle traits from this book, except this becomes a running theme in other mono good books as well. Okay, yeah. So it's Maggotkin of Nurgle that do diseased weapons and do the aura. So you're basically ability locked out, right? Gain Nurgle, not Maggotkin of Nurgle. So you're not going to put these in your army because you can't run like cheap Ungol Raiders to try and get the buff off on your opponent, like the debuff on your opponent, and do those initial tits. So you just won't take these at all, right? Because why would you? Like, yes, because if you're not even doing diseased, like if your ally isn't even bringing diseased, it best brings something really good. And if it doesn't bring anything really good, then what's the point in it being there, basically? Like, that's pretty wild. I like it. What is up, Matt Readiness? Hope you're well. You might take some beast for speed, but not for anything else. Yeah, it's true. Okay. You'll notice Disgusting Resilient is missing from the War Scrolls, and there's a good reason for that. It's a faction ability now. So Disgusting Resilient, everyone's got a 5-up ward. Wow. Everything also heals 1 wound, which is going to be massive on your characters, in addition with the Heroic Recovery. It's not a lot, but it's free. Some heroes increase this to D3 instead to 40 units within 14. So these are Great Unclean Ones, Gotkin, Fester, Sleep Sword, and Horticulous Slimux. So everything heals. So each hero phase, every Great Unclean One, the Gotkin, Fester, Sleep Sword, they're all going to heal D3, not including Heroic Recovery. Amulets for everyone. Army-wide amulet is pretty nuts. Mortal players, Blight Kings have 4 wounds with a 5-up ward. 4 wounds with a 5-up ward. Wow. So what they come in units of 5, right? So it's 20 wounds with a 5-up ward. No idea what that must cost. That's like 2 units of Phoenix Guard, right? Yeah, it's 2 10s of Phoenix Guard. What even Phoenix Guards cost at the minute? Like 180? How much a Blight King's going to be? How much are 5 Blight Kings going to be? Because the thing is, their output won't match their tankiness. A Blight King's 175, MJ, like generally, or is that they were 21 wounds with a 5-up ward before with a horse support guy, says Sazgo. Yes, they were. But now you don't have to take that. No Phoenix Guard at 175. Thanks, MJ. Big love to you. Okay, because that is going to be hard to point, because you're going to point them as a tank. Like like they're going to be a tank, but like what's that? Where's that output going to come from in the army? That's what I'm asking for. So you summon the same, one more per net effective and more, which is actually a decrease from the D3 previously they generated. If you have 7, you can spend at the end of your movement phase to summon the unit to the table. Generally Nurglings and Plague Bearers, since they cost 8 and 14 points respectively for objective control. Great and clean ones seem like a small height, 30 points to bring one in. This means you want to have a unit hanging back in your territory. Units can quickly get into enemy territory. Units that can quickly get into enemy territory. Can we get anyone in? This kind of had me excited to see other faction updates as far as power scaling goes, says DVA Lane. Yeah, you get a better idea. Like, I often... Blight King's 250? I don't know yet. I haven't seen. Let me go to my my device of leaking. Oh, here we go. I've got lots of stuff now. The wheel. Okay, we got pictures of the wheel. Oh, wow. One of the wheels is... We haven't even got that yet. Have we got that? Plague of Misery? Oh, fuck me. Device of leaking. Sounds like a Nurgle thing. Yeah, wait, do we know that Plague Bearers are 250? Blight Kings are 250. Sorry, let me write this down. If you guys know. I like writing it down as I go. So it's going to be a slow stream today. We're going to just enjoy ourselves. So don't get... so 5, and it's 250 for 5. If you have any more points, feel free to put them in the chat, and I'll put them into my master document for myself, which would be cool. Right, okay. Saves does open up the protection against alphas and has a decent spell lore. Also, units with no retreating abilities are interesting with Nurgle, especially if Bilepiper is still able to prevent pile-ins. Saves does open up some protection against alphas, which you're going to have to do because of Iron Jaws. Iron Jaws are super popular, so you're going to have to try and protect yourself against that. And there's a decent spell lore. Also, units with no retreating abilities are interesting with Nurgle. I'm still worried about moving into the mid-board, right? Updated, Call Me Quinn. Hey, Call Me Quinn. DM me your email and I'll send you a link to the Google Doc I'm working on if you fancy being a gangster and helping me out while we're hanging out today. Oh, yeah, Call Me Quinn. Yes. Love that. Love that. Thank you. Yeah. Send it me. Send me your email, yo. Do that. Wheel of Contagion. The way the wheel works is exactly the same as before. You roll a d6 at the start of the first battle round, and it paces along at the next step at the start of each battle round thereafter. The names have largely remained, but the effects are completely different, and there's no longer a spell to move the wheel to what you want either. In fact, there's only one way to manipulate the wheel, and it's once per game command trait that you general can take. Oh no. El Terrible is what that is. Okay, give me a second, gang. Sorry about this. Oh no. Done something wrong. There we go. Did it deal? Oh no. Not that. 1 second, gang. Sorry, I'm just doing some admin. Right, okay. There we go. That's the one I'm trying to do. Okay. You guys can still see this? Yeah, good. Fat Ward save. Blight Kings have 4 wounds. I'm here and late as always. Brother Scar, don't worry about it. Unnatural vitality. Okay, so the wheel. All right. Maggotkin of Nurgle heroes have a 4-up ward instead of 5-up ward. This replaces plus 2-inch movement, which is going to be very controversial. All your movement must have been replaced across the board too, which will lead to a much slower army. So if you want to, you can manipulate the wheel, and it's a once per game command trait. Okay, so is it going to be worth taking it is the point. So everything pointing at shooting meta versus Nurgle again, says Mac Readiness. I don't know Mac Readiness. I haven't read it all yet. Like, maybe. maybe. But I still worry about their ability to move into the mid board, and I worry about their output, right? Like Iron Jaws, for instance, are outputty and tanky. The Dragons are outputty and tanky. Fulminators are outputty and tanky. So it's really, yes, they might be a DPS check, but are they also a damage? Like, can they also do the damage in return, right? Having a 4-up ward on all of your characters is pretty big. If like because Glotkin's got a 5-up ward now, which is amazing. So Glotkin stonks huge. I always worry about the Goonhammer Tome reviews. Yeah, Muckwurp, I'm basically reading through this first to give me kind of an overview in my head before we look at the detail. And because the Battletome reviews have gone live at 10 a.m., so 43 minutes ago, most of them won't have finished for people to screenshot everything. So basically, by the time we go through this article, they'll have screenshot everything. We can go and get the detail, look at the detail, and then have a deeper insight, I think. Yeah. They have a great overview. Like, it's a good overview. Fecund Vigor, all units heal D3 instead of 1 in your hero phase. Places +1 to wound, hard to say, but I don't care about that. Okay. This is the only ability to repeat from the old wheel, just a different place. It was previously on the unrollable 7 spot on the old wheel. Okay. So all units heal D3 wounds instead of just 1 in your own hero phase. All units heal D3 instead of 1. That's good. Army-wide heal D3, especially on a bunch of characters. But the characters already have it, so it doesn't benefit the characters. So I feel like it's really not good, right? MJ says, I don't mind the loss of the movement at all. Having 20 Blight Kings running and charging at +3 or 4 or whatever was bollocks. Can't see why Nurgle is an alpha army as well as resilient. Just my 2 pence. Hey, MJ, I'm not against it. And actually, maybe I'm like not really thinking it through at the moment because I'm still in old book mode, which is what I've got to unlearn. The Puskor of Blight Lords and Plague Drones all having a 5-up ward is much better. So actually they do have some faster units now than they did previously. More what I was saying is if you can't build an army to do X, like, so let's say there are like 4 or 5 different ways, like you've got shooting castles, like gunline armies, you've got alpha armies, you've got mid-board control armies, you've got debuff armies. Like right now, we're pretty certain we can't build a shooting castle or an alpha army without Nurgle army. Though we don't know what the Puskor Blight Lords and the Blight Drones are going to be able to do. So actually, they do have some fast elements in their army. But I agree with you that Blight Kings running and charging and Plague Bearers running and charging was dumb. So I'm glad that's gone. But I just am worried about these guys having like a Khorne problem. But they're a lot tankier than Khorne, obviously. So maybe it isn't an issue. Maybe they're not as fragile as I would think. Right, at the start of your own hero phase, roll number of dice equal to each battle round. Each 4+ is an extra command point. Great in the late game. Total shift is the first thing you roll. Replaces dealing 1 mortal wound to non-Nurgle units and healing Nurgle units on a 5+. Replaces dealing 1 mortal wound to non-Nurgle units and healing Nurgle units on a 5+, which is the worst abilities on the original wheel. Oh, okay. Start your own hero phase, roll a number of dice equal to for the extra command point. Weirdly, though, you actually want extra command points, like probably turns 2, 3, turns 5, 4 and 5. The game's over. I mean, you're not going to complain, and it's just a 4+. So this is fine, but it doesn't matter really. Plague of Misery: heroes without the Nurgle keyword cannot do any heroic actions. Heroes without the Nurgle keyword cannot do any heroic actions and cannot order the rally or inspiring presence commands. As written, unit champions can still, which isn't clear if it's an oversight or intentional, replaces reroll battle shock rolls of 1, which can't do worse than that, yeah. So, I mean, can't do heroic actions. It's pretty big for like a heal in the mid game, for their finest hour in that turn where they want to go crazy. Really nice against like some of the bigger god characters. Yeah, so no best day ever, which normally is like a defensive, like, in their finest hour is often used in a defensive mode because it's basically a free +1 save, isn't it? Or technically it's a free +1 save, ignore rend 1, because you best day ever and then you all out defense, and no extra CP. Also good point, Colonel Cabbage. Although I would say best day ever is the one that's affected most, right? Nauseous Revulsions: enemy units that are not Nurgle subtract 1 from all charge rolls. and cannot finish piling moves closer to friendly Nurgle units. Cannot finish piling moves closer to friendly Nurgle units? What does that mean? Cannot finish piling moves closer to friendly Nurgle units. I need to read that properly on the actual rule. But -1 charge is actually pretty mathematically effective. Rampant Disease, add 1 to all disease rolls. For those are the mortal wounds at the battle shot phase. Replaces dealing D3 mortals to D3. Yeah, okay. So +1, so it becomes a 3-up. This is really good on like turn 2, 3, when you just want to do loads. So cannot pile into Nurgle units, so you cannot get close, right? We don't know what that one means. We just need to read the rule properly. It's just written badly. Like, I do this all the time. Like, I write notes to myself. Like, I write notes to myself, and then I go back and was like, what the fuck was I even... What did I even mean by that rule? That happens. Corrupted Regrowth. Gain 1 command point for each feculent Gnarlmaw in your army in your hero phase. Gain 1 command point for each feculent Gnarlmaw in your army in your hero phase. If you end up going second, good reason to set up as many Gnarlmaws as you can. If you know it's coming up soon, replace healing D3 wounds. Gain 1 command point for each feculent Gnarlmaw in your army in your hero phase. Yeah, whatever. Okay, so the wheel. What stands out to me? Unnatural vitality is a big one. The feculent vigor is actually not as good as it sounds off the start of the bat because the characters already heal D3. Hey, the fat nerd. Greetings from Australia. Hello to you. Long time Hydro homie. Ah, what up, Hydro homie? In fact, in honor of you, I'll take some water. I hope you're well. No, that's kind of how it's written in the book. What? Okay, check out. CP isn't command points, so they are contagion points. Oh, where's that? Gain 1 command point. No, it says command point right there. For each feculent Gnarlmaw in your army. Gain 1 command point. I don't know where the other CP one is. There's no CP. I wasn't like, thanks, check out for saying so, but I haven't seen. I don't think I mentioned CP. It's disease point, right? Contagion points, but it still says command point anyway, right there. So, I don't care about who wrote this. In fact, let's be nice. Let's read the opinion of the author, and let's see who wrote it. Ragnarok Angel. Okay, let's see how we feel about what Ragnarok Angel has said, shall we? Let's see what their opinion is. I'm in two minds about the new wheel. Whoever wrote this fucked up. Both Gorilla and Facehammer said Contagion. Okay, all right. Well, that's good. So corrupted regrowth. I'll go check that in a minute. Check out. So thank you. Which would be, if that was true, it would be gain 1 contagion point for each feculent Gnarlmaw in your army in your hero phase. How would you gain 1 contagion point? Because the units gain contagion points. Right. Right. Okay. Because trees. Yeah, but like, would the units be? It doesn't like. Then it doesn't say in the rules that the unit has to be near. Anyway, we'll just read the fucking book in a minute. The new wheel is sick. I see what you did there. It was gross. Love this. Contagion are summoning, not disease. Contagion points are summoning. Oh, yes, of course. There's also contagion points for summoning. Thank you. Thank you, Agilai. So I was making that mistake. Big love. Contagion points used for summoning. Right. Thank you. Can't move. Nauseous Revulsion is what's written. Can't move closer in pile-in move. Does it mean the pile-in step? Okay, so you can't pile in. So which one is that one again? Rampant Disease? No. Nauseous Revulsions. Any units that are not Nurgle subtract 1 from all charge rolls and cannot finish pile-in moves closer to friendly Nurgle units. So as written, it can't be right. You can charge them, but then can't move again. What? All right, fine. Can't pile in. Army wide, 1 turn. I guess it's not the same as the opponent fighting twice, right? Hey, cabbage. Send me your email. Message me your email. I've got a fucking doc for you. I've got a master doc. We can do it together. Gang, gang. Gang, gang. Let me send it you. Instagram, no. Discord me your email. Discord me your email. Discord me your email to the Honest Wargamer. The Honest Wargamer. Or whisper, call me Quinn. In fact, can I whisper you on here? Whisper? I'll whisper. Oh my god, I'm whispering you on this. Lol. Oh no, it disappeared. Shit. Whisper. Nailed it. There you go, buddy. Soppity already has the ability to make stuff not pile in, but the whole army doing it is way better, right? For a turn. But I actually don't think not piling in is that big a deal, right? Check out. Thanks for subscribing. Hope you're well. That's very kind of you. That's lovely. Wait, no inch, Salah Ang piling. There goes my comp list. Right, okay, wow. That's huge. Cannot finish a piling moves closer to friendly Nurgle units. But you're going to need to take a command trait to choose this effect, otherwise it's random. Okay. So let's see what Ragnarok Angel said, because I want to review the reviewer. I'm of two minds about the new wheel. I think on the whole, buffs got better, or at least were side grades to the original. On the other side, there is almost no way to change the wheel once it's set up, while there were perhaps too many ways to manipulate it before, such that a player who knew they were doing they could get exactly buff they wanted, almost on demand. It does make the mechanic basically uninteractive, since it changes only once around. You'll be very restricted track that will feel very repetitive to the game. Okay, I don't disagree with that. I also think that the other thing is like, this is an additional allegiance ability. So your allegiance ability so far is, if you get close to your opponent, they start taking mortal wounds. You can proc how much that is in combat with 6s. And your army has a 5-up ward. It's not bad allegiance abilities. Like, they're not bad allegiance abilities. And then, I guess the tree is a bonus. Like, you don't care. I guess it really depends what the sub-factions do, right? Piling the entire battle round, so charging with the monster units can do against big-size units. Agree, however, once that first roll is made, you can plan a few turns ahead. Yeah, I agree. Hey, Mike Stewart, I hope you're well. Mike, I still know I need to send you into that WhatsApp group, so I'm on that. Okay. Command traits. There are 9 traits to choose from for your general, 6 for mortals, and 3 for demon heroes. Okay, Grandfather's Blessing. Once per game, after the Wheel of Nurgle advances, you can advance it again. As mentioned, this is now the only way after the game, once per game, after the Wheel of Nurgle advances, you can advance it again. As mentioned, this is now the only way to manipulate the wheel, so it might actually be worth considering. However, so that means I roll the dice, and I've got 1, and it's after the wheel is advanced. So the best I can do with that blessing is in turn 2. So start battle round 2 is push it from where it's going next to the one following. So really, I got to hope that I can. That's terrible. I don't think you'll use that. Like, that's nowhere near as effective. Yeah, shite. That's so the wheel's just random. So like, you're just doing the wheel. The wheel's just there. The wheel's just there. Yes, chat. I love this. Trollbits 40k. Hi Rob, where are my OG markers? Lol. Trollbits 40k, they're being made. They're going on pre-order very soon. It's like a Kickstarter, only it's just a pre-order. That's how they work. But thanks for being a first-time chatter. Love you loads. That's super nice here. Infernal Conduit. If your general is alive on the battlefield, then roll a dice in your own hero phase. Oh, I forgot these Age of Sigmar 3 command abilities. Command traits. They're all going to fucking suck, aren't they? If your general is alive on the battlefield, then roll a dice in your own hero phase. On a 1, it does nothing. 2 to 5, add 1 contagion point, which is the summoning. And a 6 adds D3. If you want to lean summoning, this is a nice way. If your general's alive on the battlefield, roll a dice in your own hero phase. This is every hero phase. I can generate 1 summoning point. Oh, Zeech is so giga-fucked when they get a new book. They're going to be like, I want to summon. There's a couple that don't suck. Okay, I'm excited. Yeah, the wheel equals the Gitz Moon. That's absolutely right. Living Plague. In your hero phase, roll a dice for every enemy unit within 7 inches. On a 2+, that unit gains 1 disease point. You have a lot of ways to earn disease points, so it's a bit easy to skip this. I agree. After making a charge move with your general, Roll a number of dice equal to the charge result, and each 6 deals 1 mortal wound. After you make a charge move with your general, roll a number of dice equal to the charge result, and each 6 deals 1 mortal wound and adds 1 disease point. That's terrible. It's terrible. There's literally, I don't know if you guys know this, but I'm a big fan of the Storm Strike Chariot. A lot of people said it wasn't very good. It was hot trash. But I've never said that. And it wasn't the Twitch chat who convinced me that it's much better. So that sucks. That also sucks. Giggs' Paradise. You shut up. You shut the fuck up. It's a bad ogre charge. Bloated with corruption. When making a disgusting. Are you sure it wasn't TT that stole Markegate? Are you sure it was TT that stole Markegate? It wasn't. It might have been. Tabletop Titans might be responsible for it. Bloated with corruption. When making disgusting resilient ward rolls, when you roll a 6, a unit within 3 inches gains a disease point at your discretion. Discretion. It's nice that this isn't owned on a unit that was attacking you, and result works against magic and shooting. So you roll a unit 6. Wait, when making I make a ward save. I roll 6s. A unit within 3 inches gains a disease point at my discretion. It's nice that this isn't the only way. Okay, that's pretty good. Because, right, you're going to want to get into combat with your army, because the way your army works, you don't have any shooting, so your army wants to get in a fight. So, and even your characters want to get in a fight. They've all got a 5-up ward. They can heal D3, like, very regularly. So you don't mind getting them in a fight very much. Enemies within 7 inches cannot issue commands wholly within 7 inches and cannot receive commands. Okay. Okay. All right. Overpowering stench. That's the one you're choosing. Well, if you go for mortals, that's mortals. Okay, we haven't seen the demon ones. Okay, so those are mortals. So overpowering stench is the one you're going to take. It's like no, like they're all a no. This one. Okay. And if you're demon general, okay. So, and obviously they want the demons to be good. Gift of Febrile Frenzy. Once per battle, the general can give all Maggotkin units wholly within 7 inches +1 attack with all melee profiles. Wholly within 7 inches with all melee profiles. Every turn. Wait, on all melee profiles. Once per battle, the general can give all Maggotkin units, but including itself. Cabbage, you're a fucking star, Cabbage. Just multiple choice with a very obvious answer. Yes. Henry Cavill said on a recent talk show that he liked to play the game of A, Tiddlywinks, B, punch himself in the dick, C, Warhammer. Which one? Nurgling Infestation, flat -1 to all hit rolls. Wait, missile and melee targeting your general. Also, Nurglings within 7 inches get +1 to hit rolls. Yes. Nice one to hit on the Great and Clean one's pretty good. It's pretty good. Once per battle, Pestilent Breath, every friendly shooting phase, pick a unit within 7 inches and roll a dice for each model in that target unit within 7 inches. Each friendly shooting phase, pick a unit within 7 inches and roll a dice for each model in that target unit. For each 5+, the unit suffers a mortal wound. Okay. Great against hordes, but there are no hordes, right? Option B and C are the same, no. Correct, Shubshiko me. Absolutely correct. It was Warhammer Rough. Death Punch in the dick, funny to watch. Pestilent Breath, once per battle. Yeah, so it's probably Nurgling Infestation is probably the smarter pick, although I don't hate the idea of the Gift of Febrile Frenzy, because if you were to stack some characters or units with multiple melee profiles, I'm thinking about Puskor Bright Lords, I'm thinking of obviously the Maggotkin himself, having the Gift of Febrile Frenzy so that you get +1 attack on all of those for like a big alpha damage. But probably it's the -1 to hit. But you can negate -1 to hit so heavily in this game now that I guess it's okay. I guess it's okay on a Great and Clean one, obviously. Pestilent Breath is a good choice in a different meta, definitely. Puskos and Flies got all their melee profiles condensed into one line. Shut up. Okay, well then no. Well, someone with Bone Splitters and Nurgle Demon Army so far, I'm more than happy with Battletome. I'm glad. Do you think that we're saying that we're not happy with it? We haven't finished reading it yet. We're talking it out. Like, this is what we're doing. I'm glad you're happy. We're all happy. I'm happy. I'm having a lovely time hanging out with my buds, talking about a game I love. I hate it. It sucks. Like, I also have a Nurgle army right here under my legs, ready to go. Okay. So what do I think of these? I don't hate Gift of Febrile Frenzy, but you build around it, right? Nurgle Infestation is solid, obviously, and Pestilent Breath is good in different meta. Oh, artifacts. Yes. I fucking love this. This is so much fun. Love you guys. Normally I just do this on my own and I type it up, and this is so much better. I'm glad I chose this. As a non-Nurgle player, I am not unhappy with it yet. Perfect. That's what I want from you. I want you to be either unhappy or not yet unhappy, but leaning towards a feeling. For mortals, the Eye of Nurgle. The Eye of Nurgle. Once per game effect that you can trigger at any of your own. Oh, we're going to get command abilities as well. No, it already is more solid than Bone Splitters, and we haven't even read it yet. That's the joke. Oh, yes. Oh, okay. Yeah, the Bone Splitters had a rough time, but it's because they're squatting the army. Squatting, which is hilarious because they're bringing back squats. So, like, what will we say in the future? They're bone splitting the army? I mean, sad for you. I'm sorry. Maybe sell it now. No one will buy it. Keep it. Use them as something else. I've just dug a hole now where I feel bad for you, and I want you to be okay. So, if you could help me out. Pestilent Breath is good into a Wales meta. I guess, yes. But you're literally going to play one human being who's not going to care. You can't just... They're firstborning the army. Yeah, that's good. I mean, they've already firstborn the army. Anyway, let's go on. I have Nurgle. Once per game, the effect that you can trigger any of your own... once per game, effect that you can trigger in any of your own hero phases if there are enemy units within 14 inches that have disease points. Roll 2d6, and on a 7, the closest enemy model is slain. Oh my fucking god. That took so much to read. I hate the guy that wrote this book. Same guy that did the Cruel Boys stuff. It's the same writer. Like, you can read it, like, it's just got like a vibe. Like, Iron Jaws stuff doesn't have this vibe. Like, the Iron Jaws guy doesn't have this vibe. Different guy. Completely different guy. Can someone explain to me how Shield of Growth works? Does it work on ward saves? McWerp, I haven't read it yet. So the bearer gets to reroll any of its save rolls if the roll is equal to or less than the number of wounds allocated to it. No, save rolls will be its armor save. So if 3 wounds are allocated to the bearer, then you can reroll 1s, 2s, and 3s. The bearer gets to reroll any of its save rolls if the roll is equal to or less than the number of wounds allocated to it. Is equal to or less than the number of wounds allocated to it. So it's super situational. So if 3 wounds are allocated to the bearer, then you can re-roll 1s, 2s, and 3s to saves, meaning you get better. Wait, hold on. You start reading it, then you turn out forgetting the start of what you read. Then you read it again, you forget the last part until you forget the beginning. This is a solid rewrite of a book, says Charles the Lizard. Okay, we haven't read it yet, so, like, in full, but I'm glad that you think that. That's good. The bearer gets to reroll any of its save rolls. Okay, so reroll saves. If the roll is equal to, so I've rolled a 3, is equal to, or less than the number of wounds allocated to it. If the roll... Right, okay. So... Okay, so if 3 wounds are allocated to the bearer, then you can reroll 1, 2s, and 3s to save, meaning that it gets better the more in danger the hero is, prolonging its survival. So if the bearer gets to reroll any, if the roll is equal to less than the number of wounds allocated to it. So if I reroll 10 wounds, I can reroll all of my save dice. So are we expecting a lot of in additions? In additions is the sin guy. Yeah, the if. That's the difference, Mac Readiness. The bin guy does a lot of ifs. The sin guy does a lot of in additions, right? Like, just read that. Okay, so this seems really good, right? I thought bin guy is done. No, it was, everyone thought it was Jervis, but I didn't think Jervis was ever that guy. And everyone thought Jervis was the in addition chap, like, which is the sin. Is this only for mortals? This is only for mortals. Shield of Growth. Flesh Peeler. In each of your hero phases, roll a dice for each enemy within 7 inches. And on a 4+, that unit takes a disease point. In your hero phase. That's terrible as a command trait in each of your hero phases. Yeah, you don't care about that. The bear has a 4+ ward instead of 5+ ward? Okay. 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 Win. Another one, use artifact in your using your hero phase that affects the bearer. Roll a dice on a 2+, heal all wounds allocated to the bearer. On a 1, however, the bearer is slain. No. Okay. I mean, super fun. Super fun. The Feculent Flask. Super fun, but you're not going to take it. So if you're at full health, you reroll nothing. If you have taken 2 wounds, you reroll 1s and 2s. If you've taken 5 wounds, you reroll everything except 6s. Just remember that attacks from the same unit are done simultaneously. So it's terrible. Okay, Cabbage, thank you. Appreciate you. 4+ instead of 5+ is a 100% increase in effectiveness. Yeah. So if you're going to take an artifact, you're going to take this, right? The Split Horn Helm for a 4-up. Again, this is just mortals. If the bearer was not a wizard, and it can attempt to cast a Gift of Disease as if it was. Attempt to cast Gift of Disease? We don't know what that is yet. If the bearer was a wizard, though, then it knows Gift of Disease in addition to any other spells it knows, and gets +1 to casting rolls when attempting Gift of Disease. It's a solid spell to hand out multiple disease points for units further away. Oh, no. You're not taking that. What was once an incredible artifact that's seen a hit, Rustfang. Now only once per battle, you can pick one enemy within 3 inches and make it suffer -1 to its save rolls for the rest of the game. You can pick one enemy here within 3 inches. You kind of want to hope that you kill it, right? And suffer -1 to save rolls for the rest of the game. Not bad against still those big threats that are out there, right? Well, Will Hayes made the best 40k codes ever. Thanks, Troll Blitz. Troll Blitz? Yeah. Split Horn is super good, though. Split Horn. Yeah, the Split Horn Helm is super good. I mean, Destiny's still broken even when you already have 5+ ward built in. It's true. It's super true. Right, Demonic Boons. Okay, so these artifacts, so they're called Demonic Boons. Okay. Yeah, Spell Lore. Oh, I love Spell Lore. So good. Demonic Boons. The Bountiful Swarm, another once per game artifact to use in your hero phase. Pick an enemy model within 3 inches and roll a dice. If the result is more than the model's wounds characteristic, it's slain. If that model happened to have a wound characteristic of 4 or 5, then after it's slain, you can add a Beast of Nurgle to your army within 1 inch of the slain model. Needing to roll a 5+ to make a great use of this isn't amazing when it's once per game and taking an artifact slot. Once per game artifact using your hero phase, pick an enemy model within 3 inches. No. See, I told you it's the bin guy. In your hero phase, when you're near someone, what game does this human being play? Okay. Endless Gift. When the bearer heals from disgusting resilience, then it always heals. Like, shit bolt of change. Like, it's just shit, right? When the bearer heals from disgusting resilience, then it always heals D3 instead of 1, but all of your characters already do that. Well, your demon characters, right? Instead of one, just one, as if in range of the locus of fecundity. Considering Great and Clean ones already get that, and the other heroes that can have 5 wounds or less, it won't come off often. Like, okay, terrible. Okay, so where's the it's Warhammer Graham option? The bearer counts as two units instead of 1 for the purpose of disease battle trait. This one really makes me scratch in my head. It does absolutely nothing. It seems to me that it was put in maybe before diseased works. Oh no! The bin guy did the book! Oh, normally I have to go through these emotions on my own. It's so much more fun doing it with you guys. Oh my god. Oh, the fucking bin guy. I hate that guy. He's such an idiot. I just want him to. Bin guy, if you're listening, if you're like, I'm not an idiot, Rob, you're a fucking prick. Like, fair enough, I am a prick. But like, just ring me. Like, I'll never speak about it. Like, just be like, Rob, I need some help. And I'm not going to write it for you. I just be like, here's an idea. No. Here's another idea. No. I'm going to just shoot you down until you, that's not a bad idea. Write that down. Just write that down. The bin guy wrote the book, but the sin guy put the one trait and relic in for each day. Like, he just goes over and just like types in a new relic, right? Right, Nurgle's Nail. Pick one of the bearer's melee weapons in each hit roll. And Charles the Dead Lizard, you make the good point, right? As much as I love the game, right, and as much as I'm invested in the game and the universe and the community, it's like Battle Squig, love you loads. Like, it's a premium product. We oftentimes forget that. Like $40 or £30 in England for a book. It's a prodigious amount of money. Like, it's prodigious. To understand that they haven't even done, like, what at first glance, this is a reviewer who's picked up the book, read the book, and said this doesn't make any sense. That's their first glance. I do understand that you can get, like, blindness when you work on your own projects, like, which is why you just pass them to an external person, right? You'd be like, read through this. Okay, I've read it. Like, you just send it to this fucking person. Just send it to this person all the time. They picked up, like, 3 mistakes already. So be like, here are your mistakes. Just rewrite those. Just do that. Like, it's a premium product. You should be doing premium QA. But that's a side note. I kind of like for you as a group and as a community and the Warhammer community at large, I obviously want it to always be better. Obviously, right? But I really want to point out that I'm kind of past that for myself personally. And any time that I do make that, it's because I feel a responsibility to the community, because I love it. Because I love that they fuck stuff up. It fucking delights me at this point. It's just hilarious. Like, I chuckle like a baby. I'm like, those idiots, right? Because it's great fun. I get to have a laugh with my mates about it, which is you guys. It makes me laugh. Like, I'm having a lovely time. More, I say, not less. But responsibly, less. It's so boring being responsible. It's boring. Anyway. Right. Nurgle's Nail. Pick one of the bearer's melee weapons, and each roll of 5 or 6 inflicts disease points instead of... each roll of 5 or 6 inflicts disease points instead of just on 6. Okay. That's terrible. Tome of 1,000 Poxes. This is identical to the Muttgrub artifact above. Still solid. Muttgrub? If the bearer's not a wizard. Okay, a Nurgle demon that's not a wizard can become a wizard with the Tome of 1,000 Poxes. I love that. Tome of 1,000 Poxes. This is great. With a save, every enemy units in 6-7 inches add 1 to disease rolls. Fantastic and great and clean one with its large base and wants to be in combat anyway, so even more mortal wounds. Add 1 to the disease rolls. Enemy units within... Oh, so you do it on a 3+, not a 4+. Lol. Lol. Like... Blurp. Like, I can't wait to do, like, the quick review. If you play a Nurgle, you take this. You might take this. Like, +1 to cast. So it's only +1 to cast on the disease spell. So same as the Muttgrub. +1 to casting rolls when attempting Gift of Disease. So it's not +1 to cast all the time. It's +1 to cast casting rolls when attempting Gift of Disease, right? See you later, Charles Dead Lizard. Look after yourself. Seems to have a head screwed on, says Idiot Wind. Ragnarok Angel, Alex was on Warhammer Weekly last week. Yes, this is a really good review. I like this. So far, yes. Spell laws. Spells have been consolidated. Instead of 3 for Rotbringers, 3 for Mortals, and 3 for Demons, it's now 6 for Mortals and 3 for Demons. Much cleaner and more efficient. Nurgle had some seriously good casting in the first edition tome that managed to survive through second edition. Did it? It had one spell. It had one spell. It also had Plague Wind. Sorry, it also had Plague Wind. I don't think it's good, but okay. So let's see what they've got. 1 second. So all lists going to have the same artifact and command trait? Yes. Yes. This is what I said about the simpler books. I said this, right? And I'll say it again, right? When you don't make something interesting and innovative, you just end with repetition. And that's the situation. Like, this edition is going to be the cookie cutter edition. So I'm calling it now. I.e., the same things all the time. It's cookie cutter Warhammer. That's what we're going to see now, which is actually really, really good for new people. Like, genuinely amazing for new people. For people who have been in the game for a while and like to see variety, not as good. Anyway, right, so mortal spells. So these are mortal spells. Magnificent Bubos. A -1 to hit spell. A -1 to hit and spell rolls for a unit within 21 inches. Oh, so it's got 21-inch range, and it's a -1 to hit spell. Okay, great. It's a great spell. Cast on 7. Fine. Plague Squall. Roll 7 dice for each 6. Give a disease point to a different unit. Okay, don't care. Cloying Quagmire. Roll a dice, and if you beat the enemy unit, save. And what's the range of it as well? Is it a terrible range? Roll 7 dice for each 6. Give a disease point to a different unit. What, at range? No, I don't care. I guess is it like Comet's Call? And then it's a 4-up, they take a mortal wound. Actually, let's think it through. So it's infinite range. I roll 7 dice for each 6. Oh, yeah, okay, don't worry about it. Sorry. Sorry. Yeah. Doesn't it make it also make it easier to balance Gangster Paradise? It does. Gangster Paradise. It does. It does make it easy to balance. I will talk about it at the sub-faction stage. I think there's a show where I'd like to write down my thoughts on it, but you're right, 100%. You're right. Like, it's kind of like, you know how in Kill Team there's now just the cookie cutter, like, it's just you take the kill team. That's your kill team. That's your kill team. Makes it much easier to balance those kill teams against each other. You won't have to review lists anymore. I mean, I already don't have to review lists anymore, basically, right? Can there be a disease spam list where you have to take 12 plus disease rolls? No, because you can only go up to 7 per unit. Now, you could potentially build a list. So I'm gonna write that down. Oh, where's my notes for myself? I don't have notes for myself section yet. But we're going to try and make a maximum disease spam list where all we try and do is put disease points all across the board, maximized, right? But probably your best option for that is already combat, because you do it in combat anyway. But anyway, Cloying Quagmire, roll a dice, and if you beat the enemy unit, save, then half... It's definitely the fucking bin guy. He's such an idiot. Roll a dice, and if you beat the enemy unit, save, then half their movement and subtract 2 from running charge rolls. Previously, it did D3 walls. I like this spell. It's not bad. It's not a bad spell. Roll a dice. We don't know the range. We don't know the range yet. I imagine it's fucking 12 inches. But if it's 18 inches, then it's a great spell. Cloying Quagmire. Because it's cast on a 5. It's low. Roll a dice. And if you beat the enemy unit, save. He's not just a spell. He always has to say if. He always have to say if. Right? Right? He just loves it. If. Roll 2d6. Check against their bravery. Look up. If it's sunny. And if you like my rules. Half move. Half move. We should just call him the if versus it. Right? 14-inch range. 14-inch range. So they're already in combat range. So you half their movement and subtract 2 from the running charge rolls. So let's say that they move the worst 4, right? So then they're in 14. They move 2, so 12. And then the maximum they can charge is 10. So you do make it so that they maybe can't charge you. But if they move 8, move it down to 4. and they can still charge you, right? Okay, and I guess you round up, so if they move 5, they move 3. And they're already in charge range. And if it's a Tuesday, when a program writes a Warhammer book and needs her if statements, quick stuff. That easy to balance thing because less open design as direction sounds awful. And what got me out of War Machine tier list, where you have a smaller roster for significant free unit benefits, became too strong and too dominant by intention, says Watsnick. We'll talk about that on another show. We'll do like a deep dive. I'm still excited right now. Chlorine Quagmire could be okay. Could be okay. We'll put that in, like, I'm going to do like a green, orange, red system. This gets orange, not red. Blades of Putrefaction. Now it does disease point on a 5 or 6. Where's the damage in the army? So you, on average, do 3.5 mortal wounds per unit in combat, if they're in combat. So 3.5 mortal wounds per unit, instead of doing 10 mortal wounds or something. Okay, and it's cast on a 7. You're not going to cast it. They even have some work for their programmers. It's only physical books. Gift of Disease. I don't like that. Like, trash! Oh, well done, Ragnarok Angel. Love that. Trash. Not to be confused with the old Gift of Contagion. Gift of Disease. So this is the new one that we can... This is whether or not our 2 only other artifacts that we might take that give us +1 to cast. This is so important, right? Not to be right. This is important that this is good because they've built 2 artifacts around this. It's super important. Okay. Now it causes a disease point on a unit within 21 inches and then another point for every unit within 7 inches of it. Helpful if your opponent clumps stuff and has a big, nice long range. Okay, it's pretty good. Okay, that is pretty good. You already put that on a wizard. Who's this on? A mortal character. Okay, so a mortal character you're already going to take for whatever reason. You give them the artifact. This is pretty good. 21 inches is big range. If everyone clumps, then you automatically put those disease points on, like, most of their army turn 1. Okay. Okay. And then another point for every unit within 7 inches. It's great. Great AoE, because you already you have 1 forever then, so it's like 4+ mortal wound on every unit. Like, it'll put some pressure on people. They'll feel applied. Like, it's not Comet's Call, Rain of Stars, shoot twice. Like, it's none of those things. But and it also doesn't make those things go up to green. But it's not bad. Like, 21 inches is also good. Yeah, 21 inches is great. Great. Really good. It applies the points only to 1 unit, though. What? No, for every unit within 7 inches. It now causes a disease point on 1 unit within 21, and then another point for every unit within 7 inches. Disease at range will be interesting since you could wither supporting pieces over 1 or 2 turns. If you can maximize how would you put more points? So what have we got? No, Plague Squall, which you could also try and roll. I suppose we haven't looked at the War Scrolls yet, so you might at range be able to maximize the 7, maybe. So maybe some of this stuff earlier seems a bit better. All on 1 unit roll. Read it slowly. No, don't make me read it slowly. Gift of Disease. Okay. Now it causes a disease point on a unit within 21 inches, and then another point for every unit within 7 inches. Oh, okay. Then it fucking... So what you're saying is like, I could pick 1 unit. Thank you very much, by the way. Maximize my 7 disease points. Roll hot and kill a support character at range. At 21 inches. Okay. So, like, maximum I'm doing 7 mortal wounds. Best case scenario, I'm normally doing 4, which can be a support piece. And then it's gonna take it. It'll keep that disease point forever. But then it'll only do that if there are 7 units within 7 inches of that support character, which normally you would think that there are, right? You're correct, Rob. How the article is summarizing is creating confusion. No, wait, I'm correct. So what the hell is this book stand to? Dragons and Giants? We don't know yet. we don't know yet. It's definitely not disease points, right? I mean, so far, the whole army's got a 5-up ward, right? Original wording is different. The article is... Okay. All right. Well, we'll read the original wording in a minute. So, gift of disease... Okay. Is it you were correct originally? Okay. Let me just... Because I have got a master doc, which the legends... you fucking legends. Let's do it. Don't share it with anyone. I've got some screenshots here. We'll find out in a bit. I'll find out in a bit what that says. It's pretty important, but we will. Rob Shocked is correct. I'm lost. Okay, we'll start again. Gift of disease. I'm going to... Let me find it. Maybe either Cabbage or Call Me Quinn, who I know have the rule to hand somewhere. Oh, Law of Malignance? Like in Nurgle Demon Wizard. Oh, which one is it? Gift of Disease. Okay, I've got it. I've got it right in front of me. Gift of Disease. Gift of Disease is a spell that has a casting value of 6 and a range of 21 inches. If successfully cast, pick one enemy unit within range and visible to the caster. Give that unit and each other enemy unit within 7 inches of that unit 1 disease point. Okay, so this is wrong. Okay, so the article is wrong. So it is what I originally said. Yeah? Thanks, Cabbage. So it is what I originally said. So you pop 1 on everyone within 7 inches. So I pop 1 disease point. Is that even worth, like, what, you got to argue against Mystic Shield? To be fair, you're not going to cast anything else. That's better, so the article is wrong. Adds up to a bunch of chip damage over the course of the game. It does, but, like, it does. You're 100% right. 100% right. But that isn't how the game works. Like, I talked about this a couple of years ago, actually. Like, in my head, the game is 0-1. Like the interactions are almost all, like, not always, of course. This isn't 100% true, right? But a lot of the interactions are like 0-1, right? Or they are most of the way to 0-1. And what I mean by that is, as Brother Scar is saying, it's normally burst damage. It's normally a lot of control and movement, in some cases, to do the burst damage that wins. And sometimes you don't kill the opposing unit, but you neuter it enough that you're winning the attrition war. Now, if you can do that chip damage at range, and I mean, like, Comet's Call is probably the best version of this at the minute, right? It's the mortal wounds from a slan doing it to D6 units. That's pretty great. Gift of Change is kind of similar, but Gift of Change is the burst damage, where you definitely do 6 mortal wounds and you kill the thing. And then Comet's Call is the chip damage, but they've also got maybe a Celestin Prime, or they've got the Realm Shaper engine to do it in addition. This is a weaker version of that, and that still needs Comet's Call and the Realm Shaper, and maybe also a Celestin Prime to really kind of like push it up to the level where it's effective. I wonder if block healing is more useful. Yeah, it might be. I haven't looked at this yet. They removed some interval. Don't remember the timing for the T's. Once disease rolls every turn, not every round, right? Yeah, it's every turn. Yeah, it's every turn, Agili. So, like, you could be at turn 1, you could do 2 mortal wounds. At the end of turn 1, you go first. 2 mortal wounds to every unit within range of the gift of disease. Well, of the unit with the gift of disease, you could do 2 mortal wounds to every unit. It's pretty great. And 4 mortal wounds to every unit at the end of turn 2. But that chip damage still probably hasn't killed a character. Like, anyway, maybe. And so you can disease point. I suppose turn 2, you're casting it again, and then you're doing it in AoE again. So they're all going to have 1s. They'll all go up to having 2, but then you still have to roll a 4 up. I guess it's okay. If we're already seeing a bunch of ways to do chip attrition damage without getting the war scrolls yet, Sophocles Scrivener haven't changed. Okay. Well, all right. So I'm not putting it as green though, right? Like it's orange, like as our system. So we got good, like okay, and bad. and this is okay in my opinion. And so unless you're one decent spell gets unbound. I mean, there's also cast on a 6. We haven't seen any pluses to cast yet. Is this also Nurgle? This is also mortal. Although you can take it on demons as well with an artifact, right? Unless it's also in there. No, it's not. Spell is nuts. Oh, nice. I like this. Rancid Visitations. Pick an enemy unit within 7 inches and roll a dice for each model within 7 inches of the caster. Each 2+ is a mortal wound to the unit. Okay. Start again. In fact, actually, let's read it from, because they've made a mistake already. Rancid Visitations cast on 7. If successfully cast, pick 1 enemy unit within range, so 7 inches, and visible to the caster, and roll 1 dice for each model in that unit that is within range. For each 2+, the unit suffers a mortal wound. Oh, so it's like a horde clearing spell. Wow. Wow. So, like, wow. Like, that's crazy. So you got 30 dudes in 7 inches. That's pretty good. So 21 inches enough range with changes to movement? Maybe. Eat it, horrors. Yeah, good. So, like, you'll just, like, rip through a horde of 30 people and you'll do like 25 mortal wounds, but they have to be within 7 inches. And it's your great unclean one. It's your mortal character getting into combat, and then it's in the next hero phase. But of course, you can do Rancid Visitations through a spell portal, right? Yeah, that is very good. That is very good into hordes. If there becomes a horde meta, this will become the worst spell in the game. Like, that's pretty crazy. Okay, Rancid Visitations gets a big green from me. Demon spells hasn't changed. Favorite boxes. Pick an enemy unit until your cast. Pick an enemy unit, and until your caster moves, attacks, casts a spell, and binds a spell or is slain, the target subtracts 1 from hit and wounds and saves. Can be absolutely devastating on your opponent's big centerpiece unit. Great for something like Poxbringer once it got itself where it needs to be, and isn't expected to fight. Subtracts 1 from hit, wound, and save rolls. So favored poxes. Does it say its range? Oh, I've got the spell lore here. I'll just do this now because it's the proper one. Cast on a 7 and a range of 14 inches. Okay. So you build a castle. They charge you. You do favored poxes, and then you attack them. Okay. Right. We need some units to do some damage in a minute. So you need to survive combat, I guess. Yeah, that's the thing they don't understand about spells, is that, like, but you're going to survive with a great unclean one, right? Maybe not with some of your mortal characters, but we'll see. Demon spell. So Fleshy Abundance, add 1 to the wounds characteristic to a unit until your next hero phase. On average, with a 5 at war, this is actually worth 2 wounds, so it's decent value, particularly on frail characters, more frail characters, or a unit of playbearers to make them even harder to shift. Add 1 to the wounds characteristic of a unit until your next hero phase. It's great. We know playbearers have gone up to 2 wounds, so that's great. You can't do anything with the caster. But you can't do anything with the caster. Yeah, you can't do anything with the caster. Cast a spell, unbinds a spell. But it doesn't say an ability. Favored poxes. Pick 1 enemy unit until the next caster moves, attacks, makes a casting, unbinding, spelling attempt, or is slain. So if you have an ability, so like the Sloppity Pilebiper or the Spoilspot Scrivener, they have an ability which isn't in the list of things you can't do. So as long as you tee it up right, it's not bad. But then they have to be within 14 inches in your hero phase. It's cast on a 7. It's actually probably not that good. Like, it's like low okay. Fleshy Abundance, add 1 to the wounds characteristic. I like that. That's just okay. Good on playbearers if they're good and if they're pointing okay. Stream of Corruption, pick an enemy unit within 7 inches and roll a die for each model within. On each 5+, deal a mortal. Oh, okay. I've read a lot now. Take a small break. How are you guys doing? How is everyone? Thanks for joining me for this. I love doing this stuff. It's super fun. It's so fun to, like, unpick an army and like work out what's going to happen. And the thing is, it's like a journey, right? Like, it's kind of like a book. Well, obviously it's a book. What I mean is, it's kind of like a novel or a story. You don't know where the story's going. You're like, there's all these threads. You're like, oh, am I going to build this sort of army? Like, you know, someone's already asked, am I going to try and put disease points everywhere? Like, what's the situation? Anyway, pick a unit within 7 inches and roll a die for each model within. Okay. On a 5+, deal a mortal wound. That's a great spell. Alternatively, pick a unit within 14 inches and deal mortals on 6s. This is an interesting one for 2 reasons. It's one of the remaining ways to deal mortals directly, and it's also the Rockbringer Sorcerer's War Scroll, giving access to mortals as well. Otherwise, a decent anti-horde spell. Okay. Nurgle's going to shit on armies in 3.0. Never. When do disease points go away? They don't ever go away. It's more like a BL book. You think a thread is going somewhere and it just doesn't. Okay. Come on. Hey, Lofthammer. How you doing, bud? Right. Yes, sub-factions. Okay, spells. What stands out? Obviously, Rancid Visitation stands out. Cloying Quagmire. Fleshy Abundance. Like, I guess they're okay. They're more leveled out. Sub-factions, Plague Legions. 6 sub-factions, 4 return from Wrath the Everchosen, though largely in name only, with 2 brand new ones, continuing the tradition of the previous 2 Battletomes. These are only perks that are not saddled with mandatory command trait or artifact. They're balanced pretty well. As none stands out particularly great, but have clear, obvious niches for you to take advantage of. Have we seen much in the way of pluses to cast? No, not yet. Fleshy Abundance and the 2+ Mortal Wound. Utfitch, I agree. So 6 sub-factions return, 6 sub-factions, 4 return from Wrath the Everchosen, though largely in name only, with 2 brand new ones. Okay. There are only perks, and they're not saddled with mandatory command traits or artifact. They're balanced pretty well, as none stand out in particularly great. As none stand out as particularly great. The fucking bin guy. Disease points do go away when your opponent heals a unit they consider removing disease point. Thank you, Call Me Quinn. Right, Magnificent Wanderers. Plague Bearers of 10 or more cause 2 disease points on enemy units within 3 inches instead of 1. Okay. Okay. So you're taking Plague Bearers. Befuddling Hosts. So I don't mind that because, okay, let me start with what I really want to see from sub-factions before I've read any of it. I want each of them to make units better. Right? I want not like wholesale abilities like +1 save, because then I just go find the best save unit and I give it +1 save. What I want is them to pick out units, make them better, and the reason I want that is because then you get army list diversity. Okay. The Fowling Host. If I had to pick one, I think this might be the best for all demon list. It lets you add 2 Gnarlmaws to start instead of 1. Naturally, both have to be wholly within your territory, but you can get the Contagion points rolling sooner if you're building for summoning. So that's a summoning list. Okay, so it does make you build a different list, which is a summoning list, right? Okay. Scroll. Droning Guard. Sorry. Can you guys not see? Okay. Droning Guard. Forces a -1 for your plague drones to be hit either round 1 or, most importantly, the round they're set up. They have a deep strike built into the Lord of Affliction, so you can get a bit of insurance. You can bring a few in. Fortunately, it's only the turn they're brought in, so if they fail their charge roll, then they lose the bonus before being attacked. The turn, not the battle round. -1, either round 1 or, most importantly, the round they're set up. I beg you scroll down. Where to? Scroll down. You can see. This is what else you need. Hey, fish! So -1 for your plague. You can literally go and read the article yourself, you know. Fucking Jesus. Like, just go there. Like, read the article. It's online. You're reading the sub-factions and we couldn't see them earlier. All good now. Okay. All right, good. The article's there, though, if you want. I just you can read. I'm reading them just as I go. Forces a -1 for your plague drones to be hit. -1 to hit? Like, whoa. Like, but only on turn 1? It's actually, like, shit, isn't it? Like, what's your stuff actually do? All right, don't worry. We're past it. We're past that now. So, don't worry. It's not a big deal. Oh, we're playing Starstrike, or whatever Starstrike's called now, Vainsiger or whatever. Oh, so we're not going to engage on turn 1. Oh, we're playing the Vice, and we're not going to fight on turn 1. I know, we need to start seeing some damage. Blessed Suns, okay. Blaze of Glory, but gross, and only for your mortal units. Roll a number of dice equal to the wounds characteristic when a mortal Maggotkin of model is slain. But instead of dealing mortals for each 6, you deal a disease point for each enemy unit killed within 1 inch. It's not bad and could do cumulative damage. If you bring a lot of Blight Kings, I'm using it, however, when the Glotkin dies and rolls 18 dice. So roll a number of dice equal to the wounds characteristic when a mortal Maggotkin model is slain. Instead of dealing mortals on a 6, you do... Instead of doing what Stormcast do, you just do it worse. Remember what Stormcast do, but worse. Right. Okay, good. Okay. That's okay, Cabbage. Love you tons. Drowned Men. Move your Puskoil Blight Lords and Lord Afflictions 8 inches before the first battle round. There we go. This one requires you to really build your list. Obviously, like this one really requires, like that's the point. But giving your units pre-game moves when your army is so slow can get you an objective even quicker. Yes, I guess. Drowned Men is good. No, well, not good, but it's good out of these. Like these two are genuinely shit. Like genuinely shit. Filthbringers, this is a complicated one as it unlocks a whole new unit, kind of. The Rotbringer Coven. Hello. This is just 3 Rotbringers brought as 1 hero but remains separate and saves you a few points. Rotbringer the new wizard. Is this a whole sub-faction for a new wizard? For a new model? This is just Rotbringers bought as 1 hero but remains separate and saves you a few points. Each turn you can pick one of them and that sorcerer gets +1 spellcasting rolls plus an additional 1 for each sorcerer near him to a maximum of 3. This unit is expensive but +3 to casting is pretty great. Buy the models and shut the fuck up. Imagine, they used to be pretty sus about it, like a bit sly. Like with the dragons, I was a bit like, you're kind of on the nose here, lads. Like, you're kind of pushing, right? Cage, no, Anastu wants to tell us what he thinks about it. I feel like this book will be good overall, but will it be super competitive? Not until 6 months down the line when we get points reductions, suffer from being overcost and relying too much on disease points, which we'll still have to roll for. I'm optimistic and I'll primarily play with them, but this book will most definitely play testing to see its potential power. Okay, Cage. Thank you very much for your thoughts. 145 points for 1 sorcerer or 360 for 3. So, okay, 290. Okay, so you get a little bonus. I think this book is okay, but won't compete at the top end. For damage output, which I don't know if you guys have noticed or have even been in a conversation about, but sorry, 1 second. Let me just if you guys didn't join me yesterday and don't know, my bank card, like someone hacked my bank and my bank card's being frozen out, so I can't actually buy anything at the moment. So people are bringing me lunch and I don't want to miss people bringing me lunch because I can't buy my own lunch. So it's like the Gits group of casters. Yeah, it is, the Filthbringers. And +3 to cast is pretty good. So each turn you pick one of them, but only one of them gets +3 to cast. And are they level 1 casters or level 2 casters? Real question. We're going to skip grand strategies and battle tactics because don't give a fuck about them. I'll do them on another show. The Snotapalooza, Chris CB. Yes, the Snotapalooza. Write that down. I'm going to write that down in my list of jokes that I will write and steal. And we're going to make a new tab in my master document. Snotapalooza. Thank you. Palooza. Oh, I'll look hilarious to the YouTube thugs when I make that joke. 1 cast unless Arcane Tome, of course. Okay. So an entire sub-faction for 1 cast at +3 to cast. Resub to support whoever has banked your card. Whoever has your bank card, rather. Resub to support. Thank you, Brother Scott. I appreciate you. Yeah. One sec. I think my friend Chris is bringing me some soup, which is super nice of him. What a charmer. Thanks, Chris. Go, Chris. Chris. Right, okay. I had to cancel my card last week too. So annoying. Like, is it happening to everyone, Diadrin? Like, that's like the third person I've heard. Like, anyway, maybe it's just like that classic thing. You're buying a red car and you see red cars everywhere. Core Battalion, Dice Roll Befoulment actually returns. There's some weird joke. This is going to cost you 1,485 points and grants Magnificent. You could do it. The actual viable option, Rotbring Assist, is excellent. Oh, okay. Brother Scar, thanks for resubbing, baby. The actual viable option, Rotbring Assist, is excellent and unified one-drop battalion of one mortal hero and up to 2 more, and 3 mortal troops and up to 3 more. Nice! In a sufficient mortal heavy list, you can pack more into this one drop. What's nice, if you're playing Filthbringers and want to bring a lot of the Coven only... Oh my god! Why did they do... How can they be doing less work, but it takes longer? And, like... Okay, let's just take a moment. Let's take a moment. And I'm not trying to be a prick about it, but 6 years, meteoric rise in money. Meteoric. So much fucking money. So much money. And yet, 3rd edition Age of Sigmar is simpler, stripped down, not as intuitive. Anyway. Like, it's less work. Like, it's not as... They haven't made as much effort, right? Thank you. Hello, Tree Spoons. First time chatter. Like, how is it less? Okay, War Scrolls. So this is going to be reviews of the War Scrolls, but we need to look at the War Scrolls. Lowering the bar and then riding it. Yeah. Okay, we don't know. Should we read these or should we go look at the actual War Scrolls? The thing is, to look at the actual War Scrolls, I'm going to need to, like, type them out. So I have to go offline for a little bit. Maybe I'll do that when Chris brings the soup. We'll read through the article. And then I'll edit some War Scrolls and we'll come back and look at them later. Also, in the spells and some factions, mission stuff. Call me Quinn. Yes. I feel for them, like, make a team bigger. I feel bad for them, like, make the team bigger. Yeah, Chris Peacock, I'm with you. Guys, where do I find command abilities for AOS? Kind of feeling dumb that I don't find them. Grumdol, are you asking about the generic command abilities? Because they're in the core rules, which are free to download on gamesworkshop.com. Fuck, what does a stripped down Beast of Chaos tome look like? Don't know, baby. Look, if the mental gymnastics... Look, the if takes mental gymnastics. Anyway. Like, the disease points is good, right? Like, it's fun. Like, it's themey. It's themey as hell. Like, I like that. Like, you had an idea. Like, follow through. But, like, what is the rest of it? Like, what are the sub-factions? So let's go through the sub-factions again, because this is the one that kills me. This is how you break an army apart. And I don't mean, like, break it like it's too strong. I mean, like, diversify your army builds. So Munificent Wanderers, right? You take loads of Plague Bearers. All right, fair enough. Fouling Host, summoning is better. Okay, maybe you take Plague Bearers, maybe you take Mauls. Doesn't matter. Your summoning is better. Okay, like 2, all right? Depending if Plague Bearers are good. Droning Guard is your Plague Drones. Good, but it's a terrible ability, so you won't take it. But if you do want to take Plague Drones, is it only Plague Drones? Does it also apply to... Subfactions should completely change how you approach army building, not be random minor buffs to one unit. Muckwork, I'm with you so much. Blessed Sons is terrible, so you're never just going to take it. Drowned Men is your Puscoil Blightlords. Okay, so you've got Droning Guard for your Plague Drones and Drowned Men for your Puscoil Blightlords. So you do have those 2 different ones, right? And one of them, the Drowned Men, is arguably better, right? And Filthbringers is the Rotbringer one. So I guess they do diversify how you build, but the buffs are so minimal. Like, if the buffs were stronger, if the buffs were stronger but unit locked, at least a little bit, right? Then, yeah, sure, you would be like, oh, well, actually, Postgold Blight Lords are way, way better than Plague Drones, so I'm still going to take Drowned Men. But it means if you're the person, because it's about the person who loves Nurgle, like if you love Plague Bearers, you want them to be able to take Plague Bearers and they get some sort of cool thematic buff, right? Like, I love Ringgate Feud, lol. I love Ringgate Feud as well. It's so fun. Lol, I completely agree. Maybe because of the times, they became more complicated. People complained about damned if you damned don't. Appealing to both casuals and competitive players usually ends up with one of the parties being sad. I don't think, like what does it matter for casual players? Not to be a dick about it, but like, what does it matter? What does it matter? Like, how does it matter? Like I occasionally will play League of Legends. I don't know what the balance updates do. Like, I don't give a fuck. Means nothing to me. Means zero to me. Like, I don't care what they do at all. And truthfully, the rules don't matter to casual players at all, because they're casual players. They don't have any fucking clue what's going on. They don't care. Like, these are directly written for people who love the game and love gaming. Casual players are just whoever. I'm also a casual painter. Let me give you an example. Vince told me to buy this paint. I think it's shit. I don't know what it does. Metal color, Vallejo acrylic, piece of shit. I don't like it. Do you know what I do like? Army Painter metal. I like it. Works nice. Paint it on. Looks nice. Don't matter to me. I'm a casual painter. Don't give a fuck about your opinion. Right? That's like... This one's terrible. It goes really badly on my wet palette, which took me like 3 years to buy a wet palette. Anyway, that's my rant about casual players. Like, it doesn't matter about them. Like, don't write for them. You're not writing for them. None of their opinion doesn't matter, because who are they? Like, but for people who are learning, who are new, right? Red flag metallics on wet palette. Angle. The other stuff. So you don't get, we all need to know about Rob's painting is that he used metal paints as his wet palette. Thank you. All right. See? Look at you. All of you. Don't put metallics on a wet palette. Guess what? I'm a casual. I'm going to just say I'm a casual painter. That's my new joke forever now on the show. I'm going to say I'm a casual painter. And when you give me advice in the chat, I'll be like, these paints are really made for a more casual painter. And then how are you going to feel? You're going to feel like an idiot, because I've flipped it. I've Uno card it. Anyway, have they done enough? Like, I just want to see stronger rules. So structurally, for sub-factions, not bad. Plague Bearers have got a way to play. Okay. Plague Drones have got a way to play. Mortals have got a way to play. Postgold Blight Lords have got a way to play. And you've got like a wizards thing. Truthfully, you've broken it out. I don't know why you hate the... Well, no, you don't hate the demon characters. You're fine with it. So good. I want these to be stronger. So I'm being a bit derisive when actually they've done what I wanted them to do. So this is good. Like, the sub-factions, they've done what I wanted them to do. I just want them to go deeper and stronger. Possible theory is there's another example of the Sons of Behemoth in 2.0. Is this term is written to be especially effective in future state of the game? So Arcane Ring, like, I recognize your point and I recognize the Sons of Behemoth in 2.0, but I really think that was a disingenuous conversation then. Like Kragnos. Kragnos was pointed for AOS 3, and then AOS 3 came out and he went up points. Now in the FAQ, he's getting his War Scroll rewritten and he's going up points again. So overall, he's never been written for whenever he's written for. Like, it doesn't make you release a book for the game state that you're releasing it into, not for the future. I think any arguments towards that are disingenuous, and I think genuinely trying to be like I think they're genuinely on the side. Like, I don't want to get shilly out, but I might get shilly out. Okay, all right, let's get more excited, because I'm hype. Okay, because I heard Maggotkin slaps, right? So I'm fucking hype for that. So I don't care as long as the units themselves are good. If unit requires a sub-faction buff to be good, it's a bad unit. No. But, like, so Angle, if you think about it, really, like, if you... Okay, So when you have a book with no sub-factions, let's say you've got a melee unit, right? You've got melee unit 1, melee unit 2. The difference between them is probably nominal. If they're like, let's say they're foot melee troops, is probably the easiest, most common thing that we see. Foot melee troops, right? If you have like a cavalry melee troop, it's obviously very different to like a foot melee troop. You've got foot melee troop 1, foot melee troop 2. 3 good examples would be Phoenix Guard, Black Guard, Executioners from the Cities of Sigmar, right? So then you look at the points and you think, well, Executioners and Black Guard don't have a ward save. They're not that many points difference. They also don't have rend. They don't have a character that really gives them a good buff, etc., right? But if you had a sub-faction where Blackguard and Executioners did mortals on 5s to hit, let's say mortals on 5s to hit, you would be like, sweet. It doesn't make the Phoenix Guard any better, which is great. It makes those guys better, which is good. But in an army with no sub factions, you just take Phoenix Guard. They're just better, right? They're when you have no sub factions to make the armies different, same with power pairs, right? So if you have a power pair, like this unit is better when I bring this character, then that means you've got like a thematic, like you've taken that character, you've taken those units, that's great. It gives your opponent the ability to remove the characters to make the unit worse, but it means that your army is kind of themey. Same with the sub factions. So just give them those rules already. But then, Angle, when you give them those rules already, this is my point, when you give them those rules already, you then, in a no sub-faction state, one of them is better, right? One of them is better on a points conversation, right? Whereas the sub-factions can make you do weird and interesting things. But making a bad unit good shouldn't be the way. I agree. I think they should all be good, Angle, I'm with you, or they should all be average or whatever, and then they get better in their sub-factions. That's what I'm saying. But so I think we're on the same page and we agree. Anyway, right. So Rotigus, much beefier than he was before. He lost an inch of movement, but shot up to 20 wounds. His weapon profile is much the same. His abilities have changed substantially. Oh, we're not going to know, right? Is this going to be enough? No. We're going to have to read the War Scrolls, is what we're going to have to do. We're going to have to read the War Scrolls, which means I'm going to have to go and write up the War Scrolls so we can do this together, because I need to show it on screen. I can't just read them out to you. It would be weird. And I reckon it'll only take me an hour, maybe an hour a bit, to do that, to do the War Scrolls. So should we come back? I can't do it live because I'm not editing live in front of you guys. It's a nightmare. I just won't do it. I'll just talk instead. That's the key point. All right, what does everyone think so far? What does everyone think so far? I think we already have in the master document, we already have some information. We've got... we've got no end of spells. We've got points for everything. I'm pretty certain if I go back. Battle line units. Plague Bearers are 150 now. 150 for 20 wounds with a 5-up forward. Oh boy. What initial thoughts so far from what you've read? Without having looked at the War Scrolls, it's hard. But I worry about the damage output. Survivability seems fine. Like, what have I just read? 150 points. Maybe not enough damage, but is a new DPS check. Oh, my computer just broke. Maybe a DPS check army. Like, which is good for it, but does the mortal wounds do the damage out, basically? Bleach Purification would be okay if it was really easy to cast. Bizarre that it's on the 7. Yeah. What are your initial thoughts? Where can we find this article, if I may ask? Lord Makina, it's not an article for public release. Like, it's just an article where we collate our information. The geo and the points are in the state you can show. Grey and clean. One of the points in the state you can show. Where? It's all right, Cabbage. I'll do it after. This will be the first time we've done this, so it's pretty exciting. So going through like a process on like Battletome release day is really fun. So reading through this stuff has been good so far. I like the mechanics and are cool, but they need base numbers to back them up. I'm with Angle. I agree. Looks decent, but if it doesn't inspire me as a Nurgle player, which is what I wanted, I think it does inspire me a little bit. I think it does. I think you're not going to avoid the big characters, especially if they all heal D3 in the hero phase. That feels very, very strong as a start. It's worrying that you can only build a DPS army, but I'm really hoping Puskor Blight Lords like slap because they're fast, right? Them or Plague Drones have to like slap really hard. They don't have mortal wound output, or they do, but it's in like very specific places, which if you compare, like, you're like, okay, maybe they're not doing mortal wound output, but that's absolutely like a misnomer in Age of Sigmar, because what they've already done is they've given us Fulminator shooting, Dragon shooting, Long Strike shooting for mortal wound output, Vindictors like combat, mortal wounds all over the place. In fact, actually, this kind of feels like a Stormcast book that's just worse in a bunch of different ways, because replace doing mortals with doing contagion points for maybe mortals, right? And then if you go over to Iron Jaws, or not Iron Jaws, sorry, if you go for you go to the Uruk Walklands book, you've got Mortals for Days coming out of the Cruel Boys in Bolt Boys, or I suppose in stickers if you use the Shaman. And then if you jump over to Uruks, you necessarily don't have Mortals, but you've got Ren 3, which might as well be Mortal Wounds, right? So like the output is definitely there, the movement is definitely there. So I guess this is the tanky army. I guess this is the army. So really it's whether or not the points showcase that they can build that tanky army. Can 250 points of Blight Lords survive against I mean, they're not quite the same, but can they survive against a unit of 3 buffed up pigs? I guess, because we're going to do Nurgle shows all week, right? We're going to do them all week. We're going to ask these questions. We're going to break the book apart. We're going to look at its elements, how it works. It's not just going to be like a 2-3 hour review show with our thoughts. We're going to talk about it all week. Every element, we're going to do it together. So first impressions right now, and then we're going to deep dive it, ask ourselves a ton of questions, compare them to different units, just deep dive the game. It's going to be super fun. I'm looking forward to it. I want weirder shit, I guess, like give me Nurgling Faction or something. Yes, I agree with that. Trollbits 40k. Been waiting about a year to troll you, Rob. Most of the time you go live, I'm sleeping. Oh, baby. You've been waiting a year, and you are struggling. They haven't even subscribed, you sucker. You sucker. All right. I'll be back later to hopefully look at the War Scrolls. I'm going to try and put them together as some documents now. Thanks to MJ Pegasus for helping put that out. Thank you to Charlie and Call Me Quinn for helping put some together. Also going to get some lunch. It's been super fun. Really fun. Love this. This is a much more fun way to do it. You guys have been great, so do join me for the next one, and join me all week as we go through this more, right? Best way to find out if we're going to go live is by clicking the notification. There's like a bell. Click that. Notify me when we're live. I got you a nice cocking. Yes, Cabbage. All right. You guys are brilliant. I'll talk to you soon. Thanks very much. Bye.